what I said to my team. I'm really not looking forward to the part where we have to break the audience's hearts and tell them what's going on with Roland, because that study on the terminally ill cancer patients would become relevant to you personally. What happened? How did you find out that you have cancer?
Yeah. So this was about 14 months ago. I went in for a routine screening colonoscopy, believing myself to be completely healthy. I take care of myself. I watch my diet. I exercise, and came out with, in short order, a stage 4 cancer diagnosis that's been resistant to treatment. So the irony is that all of a sudden I was in the position of the patients that I'd spent so much time with and talking about their views on what death and dying is about.
Oh.
But Megyn, the astonishing thing about this is that it's rather than being depressed and anxious for me, I consider the whole thing to be a blessing. And it's been this just remarkable experience of joy and gratitude. And I don't quite know how I came to have this experience, but I have an idea. I had a long history of practicing meditation. And so I was accustomed to going in interrogating my thoughts, feelings, emotions as they come up. And this is what you learn to do in meditation, although I don't want to soft pedal it. Meditation's hard because most people, and I was one of those initially, get very discouraged very quickly, feeling that there's nothing here or that they're a failure. So it's tricky working with meditation. But what one comes to learn is that you don't need to identify with the narrative self, the voice in your head. You don't actually need to identify with emotions or feelings that come up. That the voice in your head, those feelings exist within this kind of larger context, this larger frame of mind. And if you don't identify with that, then it's going to pass. But if you lock into a narrative story about what's happening, then that becomes your world. It's like the addicted cigarette smoker identifying as addicted, and then they are. And if you identify as being anxious or depressed, that's where you find yourself. So with the diagnosis, I at first there was this sense of it was just unreal. It was just a bad dream, frankly. And my wife and I cried a lot, but it was confusing. And then this happened just over a few days, and then I went through and started sorting through kind of the emotional states that would emerge. And, one would be anxiety or depression, or resentment toward a medical system that maybe put me at a screening interval that was inappropriate, or going to combat with the cancer, or denial. It's not really happening. And none of those struck me as being pleasant places to be. And so that I really didn't want to go there. What I recognized was that this was a springboard into gratitude, just gratitude for the preciousness of our lives. And it's something we all know, right? This is something really remarkable that we find ourselves as these highly evolved sentient creatures walking the Earth's surface, talking in the middle of culture, but what's going on here? What's the backstory behind this? How do we account for this? How do we account for the fact that we can even be aware that we're aware, that we know something? And for me, when you contemplate that, gratitude comes up. This is life is a precious gift. It's precious beyond belief. And so my choice then became to deeply practice gratitude and use the so-called problems that arise from a diagnosis like that. And there are plenty of opportunities with surgery and chemotherapy and all the side effects and dealing with the medical profession. You could, there's all kinds of opportunities to collapse into different states, but they can be used in a way that just reflects back as a reminder that each moment is precious, each moment is unretrievable. And that's what this 14 months has been like for me. So it's a gift, it's a blessing. And my wife and I often talk about what a tragedy it would have been had I just been run over by a bus on that day that I was walking out to that screening colonoscopy appointment, because I wouldn't have had this. I thought I was pretty awake to the joy and miracle of life before this, but it's much more so now. And so I'm moved to talk about it just because I think in principle, we can all wake up much more than we are. And I want to encourage people to do that absent a terminal diagnosis.
Roland, thank you for sharing that. My God, I'm definitely, I feel more emotional about it than you do, but I know you've dealt with it. And there's so much wisdom in what you just said there. The thought, we don't need to identify with thoughts or emotions as they arise. What a concept. So it's there, the anger, maybe a feeling of betrayal, of getting gypped, of why me, what could have been. Like they're marching by you like ants in a parade, but you don't have to accept them.
Yeah, I mean, you can take advantage of that. So if so anger comes up, right, and kind of the immediate response, if you kind of query what's going on, is you want to get back, and however you're going to manifest that, but there's energy that comes, and if you go inside and kind of query that, you can recognize that there's all this energy, and you've given it a label of anger, and you don't have to act on that. In fact, you can just repurpose that toward gratitude, like, oh my God, I'm here. I mean, why? And it's not going to serve me to act on that anger. I mean, sometimes it will. I mean, we have these conserved, evolutionary conserved tendencies, for some good reasons, but a lot of times within our culture, we're acting out primitive responses that just don't serve us or the people we're reacting to optimally. And so that.
So wait, so let me just restate that. So make sure I understand it. So if in my analogy of the little ants are walking by with anger, bitterness, betrayal, it's not that you're saying, I reject you and I reject you and I reject you. It's that you're changing what's written on their sign. You're saying, I'll take all the energy on your sign of that very big emotion that is available to me. And I'm going to, on the opposite side of that sign, I'm going to write gratitude. And I'm going to use all that energy to funnel toward that.
Yeah. I'll take it one step forward. You can thank the little ant or whatever the condition is, for providing you this further wake up call. You're just not going to go with the message that's on their side.
Oh, that's extraordinary. That's so helpful. I love the way you're saying that. So did you have to, because I know we never sort of got to the point where in the midst of your research at some point you did try the psilocybin in a serious way, not the sort of cursory, 20s things you talked about. Did you need to do it again, Roland? After the diagnosis, did you choose to do it again, or were the earlier experiences enough for you?
Yeah. Well, let's see. So the way I handled the diagnosis initially, and of course because I'm known for the psychedelic research, people ask me, "Oh, are you going to take psilocybin?" And in fact, that was the last thing in the world I wanted to do. I felt that I was in this altered state, more awake, alive, joyful, with greater equipoise than I'd ever been before. And I actually thought, no, why would I ever want to disturb that? So, but also at that point, I'd done a lot of meditation, and I did have some interesting psychedelic experiences that may have informed my ability to respond like that. But I wasn't drawn to that. I have subsequently, since the diagnosis, had one experience with a psychedelic in which I just used it for some self-inquiry that was very interesting. But it doesn't explain much about what I'm encountering now, how I'm responding to the diagnosis, and my eagerness to communicate about that, including wanting to launch a whole research program that speaks to this very issue.
What's your gift going to be this Valentine's Day? How about taking 10 or 15 years off your appearance with Genucell Skincare and their most popular package? And right now, every most popular package, all their best stuff, is 70% off, 70, and includes the next breakthrough in skincare technology, Genucell's probiotic moisturizer, absolutely free. These super ingredients found in yogurt can have the same nourishing benefits and goodness for your skin, right? You eat the yogurt, you get the probiotic, and you can do this on your skin too with probiotic extracts that can target bad bacteria on the surface of your skin to restore balance to your skin's microbiome for a noticeably clearer complexion and visibly younger appearance. See those fine lines, wrinkles, dark spots, sagging jawline, even bags and puffiness visibly disappear right before your eyes thanks to Genucell. Plus, with its immediate effects product, see results in under 12 hours guaranteed or your money back. Go to Genucell.com/MK60 right now. And for the first time ever, every order at Genucell.com from now through Valentine's Day will include a beauty box with two luxury gifts for free. Order now, 2 weeks only. Genucell.com/MK60, GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.